Good morning. Welcome to Course in Miracles, day 5. It's chilly outside, so I want to stay cozy in my RV today. I was outside a little bit and my toes froze off. Okay. We left off reading verse 26, and I just want to read the beginning of that and move on to 27. A miracle rearranges the order of perception and places the levels in their true perspective. This heals at all levels because all sickness comes from confusing the levels. The note says, this principle immediately followed and seems to be an expansion on the corrected version of Principle 21. A miracle reawakens the awareness that the spirit and not the body is the altar of truth. This means the levels here would be that of the body and the spirit. Verse 27. A miracle is a universal blessing from God through me to all my brothers. It is the privilege of the forgiven to forgive. Souls cannot rest until everyone has found salvation. The disciples were officially and specifically told to heal others as physicians of the Lord. In Matthew 10, verse 5 and 8, these 12 Jesus sent out and commanded them, saying, heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out demons. Freely you have received, freely give. Jesus may also have in mind the verse Mark 16, verse 18. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. As later on he says, he has already mentioned this. The disciples were officially and specifically told to heal others. As physicians of the Lord, they were also told to heal themselves, and they were promised that I would never leave them or forsake them. The reference here, the biblical reference is John 14:18. I will not leave you desolate. Hebrews 13:5. Let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as you already have. For he has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Atonement is the natural profession of the children of God, because they have professed me. The children need both strength and help. You cannot help until you are strong. The everlasting arms are your strength, and the wisdom of God is your help. Deuteronomy 33:27. The eternal God is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. Heaven and earth shall pass away, which means they will not always exist as separate states. My word, which is the resurrection and the life, shall not pass away because it is eternal. Mark 13:31. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. John 11:25. I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, though he die, he shall live. In the above course passage, rather than Jesus being the resurrection and the life, it's saying his word, his teaching it's pointing out. The teaching is the resurrection and the life. The word. In the beginning there was the word. You are the work of God. His work is wholly lovable and wholly loving. This is how you must think of yourself in your heart, because this is what you are. Proverbs 23:7 says, for as he thinketh in his heart, so he is. The course reverses the cause and effect here, saying instead of how you think of yourself dictating what you are should be dictating how you think of yourself. I'm going to read that last line again. I liked it. You are the work of God. His work is wholly lovable and wholly loving. This is how you must think of yourself in your heart, because this is what you are. Verse 28. Miracles are a means of organizing different levels of awareness. Miracles come from the below conscious, the subconscious level. Revelations come from the above conscious, the superconscious level. The conscious level is in between. That's where we are right now, the in between. And reacts to either subconscious or superconscious impulses in varying ratios. Freud was right about this basic classification, but he had the names a little different. So in other words, he said that the conscious level is reacting to impulses from the above and below, but he called them superego, ego, and ID. The levels are more properly or easily understood as called superconscious, conscious, and subconscious. He was also right that the content of the consciousness is fleeting. Consciousness is the level which engages in the world and is capable of responding both to external and internal impulses, having no impulses from itself and being primarily a mechanism for inducing response. It can be very wrong. This paragraph introduces a view of the mind that is taught in the first 4 chapters of the text. In this view, the mind has 3 levels, with the conscious level sandwiched in between. The superconscious, or heavenly, and the subconscious level. The subconscious level is then divided itself into 2 layers. A superficial layer, filled with the impulses of this world, and a deeper layer, filled with the impulse to miracles. It's really good stuff to ponder on. For example, if the identification with the body is with, for example, if the identification is with the body, consciousness may distort superconscious impulses by denying their source and seeking their impact on the orgasm. In the orgasm. This is the result of mistaken identity. If you will look at the effects of revelation, I'm going to start over. Revelation being the superconscious. Okay. For example, if the identification is with the body, consciousness may distort superconscious impulses by denying their source and seeking their impact on the orgasm. Why do I keep saying on? Because impact on. Seeking their impact in the orgasm. This is the result of mistaken identity. If you will look at the effects of revelation, you will see that there are some similarities in the experiential results, but hardly in the content. This originally began, if you will look back at the description of the effects of revelation, it seems to refer to Helen's original description of her revelation. The impact of this was incredibly intense, like a great burst of unexpected clarity. It was briefly so compelling that it seemed as though there was nothing else at all. The world just disappeared. That is how revelations have come to me as well. Nothing else even exists at that moment. And it's like mind-blowing. That's where the expression comes from. Revelations induce complete but temporary suspension of doubt and fear. They represent the original form of communication between God and his sons, before intrusion of the fire and ice made this possible. So there's a reference on what fire and ice is. It appears to be a reference into the 1920 Robert Frost poem Fire and Ice, which on a literal level speculates whether the world will end through burning or freezing. However, the poem identifies fire with desire and ice with hate. Therefore, this is really about the destructive power of desire and hate on the body, which is also called the world. And therefore, this dovetails nicely with the reference here in which fire and ice seemingly destroy our original world, a spiritual realm characterized by perfect communication with God. It should be noted that they involve an extremely personal sense of closeness to creation, which human beings try to find in sexual relationships. This confusion is responsible for the depression and fear which are often associated with sex. Sex frequently involves a lack of love, but revelation is purely a love experience. Physical closeness cannot achieve this. As was said before, the subconscious impulses properly induce miracles, which are interpersonal and result in closeness to others. This can be misunderstood by a personally willful consciousness as an impulse towards sexual gratification. It's not going to get you me'oid, that closeness to God, that revelation, that knowing. That doesn't come from the human mind. Revelation unites you directly with God. Miracles unite you directly with others. Neither emanates from consciousness, but both are experienced there. I read that. I like to read that twice. Revelation unites you directly with God. Miracles unite you directly with others. Neither one emanates from consciousness, but both are experienced there in consciousness. This is essential because consciousness is the state which produces action, though it does not inspire it. You are free to believe what you choose. What you do attests to what you believe. The deeper levels of your subconscious always contain the impulse to miracles, but you are free to fill its superficial levels, which are closer to consciousness, with the impulses of this world, and to identify yourself with them. This results in denying yourself access to the miracle level underneath. In conscious actions, then, your interpersonal relationships also become superficial and miracle-inspired relating becomes impossible. Miracle-inspired relating becomes impossible. Okay, that's it for the day. I pray that we have understanding and that our minds will see what we need to see and our hearts will feel and know what we need to know. Thank you for being here. I love you.